Hello everyone, my name is Bridget, and today we're going to be talking about how to go deeper with nature so that you can have more communication and interaction with elemental beings, begin to prep yourself to be able to connect with the Fae in different kinds of beautiful interdimensional realms, and so that you can relax and sync with your own natural rhythm and the rhythm of nature. And when you're in that space, you can communicate with all aspects of your consciousness and all aspects of the divine. Now I'm going to give my top 5 tips to begin this deepening process. The first and foremost way, whenever you're entering nature, even if we're talking about a city park, is to stop at whatever that entry point is, the trailhead, the entrance, the parking lot, wherever that is, as you step into that first area of nature, is to introduce yourself. In my case, hello, nature place, hello, mountains, hello, forest. My name is Bridget. And so I do an introduction and then go one step deeper and I say the lineages and who I come from, where I'm from, to introduce myself to that place. This is very important because it's a relationship. These are conscious living beings, whether it's the earth, the stones, the trees. And so we're building a relationship, and that's the first place to begin, is introducing yourself as if you were interacting with a human. And in that introduction, I love to gift an offering. You may have something physical, ideally biodegradable plant material is ideal. And if you don't, you can just literally give your breath. So my name is Bridget, and offer your breath, your life force, your essence to that place as an offering of the getting to know you as well. Or you can have some kind of herbal mixture that's sacred to you, that then you can give a little bit of that offering, blow into it, and offer that as well. I'll go deeper into each of these things in different videos so that we can play with how to make an herbal offering and many different things. But for now, you can give breath. You could give an offering of dried flowers, of tobacco, sage, ideally not white sage, but other kinds of maybe artemisia, some kind of plant to say, thank you, this is where I'm from, this is who I am. And this is an important moment because then you will get to know if you are granted permission to enter and move forward, or you're not allowed there because you'll be syncing with the place and you'll actually then be in a place of listening, which is very, very important. I have 2 podcasts in deepening with nature, one with my girlfriend Mara, who's incredible. She talks from the Irish perspective, and then one with my other friend John Michael. So you can go to the links in my bio to check out those 2 episodes where we go really deep into these subjects. So the introduction and the offering is the first way. This is you entering into the dimensional gate of that nature space. I was just on a hike in Rocky Mountain National Park, and I was going on a long hike. It was a 10-mile hike, and I was just like, okay, let's get going. Let's get going for the day. And I hadn't done this yet. And I realized that I was disconnected. I was more in my head, and I was also not feeling nature the way that I usually do. So I stopped on the trail and did this, and then everything changed, and the rocks and the nature started talking to me in the way that it normally does, and it granted me entry to that space. So remembering this is really key, and if you're going with someone else, stop and do this. I go with my brother and nephew who think I'm a little odd sometimes, and I say, hey, let's just wait for a minute and say, hello, I'm here. Thank you for this opportunity. And it could just be even like 10, 20 seconds if you're, say, with other people. But incorporating that even into other people's realities is really, really essential as you go deeper into nature. The number 2 way to go deeper with nature is to uncover yourself. Come raw as you are. So let me explain what I mean by this. So there's the people, and you might be one of them, and that's okay. They go in like sneakers and like they're covered, and they have their hat and they have their glasses, and they're just like all covered when they're in nature. And sometimes people, like where I am right now, they just stay in their car and they don't even get out of the car. So there's something then as an opposite of taking off your shoes and having your feet barefoot on the ground. At certain moments when you're in the shade and not needing to protect from sun, you take off your jacket and you feel the wind on your skin. So letting yourself engage with the nature in your sensory experience. Now, one key that I've heard from the elementals, this might sound a little funny, but that's okay, because it's true, is I'll be deep in nature. I might be at a spring or somewhere just completely merged one with the tree. I'm my own tree in that moment. And then I can hear, I'm synced at that moment with the elementals. And then I feel a disturbance. I feel a disturbance with the elementals, the birds change. And before I hear a sound of someone, what happens in this moment is that I smell them. And this is so funny because it might be a cologne, it might be the bug spray, it might be the sunscreen, but I smell some kind of synthetic human element coming towards me. And it's not just me smelling it, I'm smelling it through the elementals and feeling that disturbance where they hide, they shrink away because it's so not synced with the energy of nature, because usually it's synthetic, particularly fragrances. And so I've had this happen several times, and the elementals actually recoil when that's happening. And I was just on a hike, and the people in the parking lot were like spraying like the bug spray before they even knew that there were bugs. Oftentimes I'm out here, there's not mosquitoes, like I don't need it. I'm not in the sun right now, I don't need sunscreen. So the idea is to enter and raw into nature without any synthetics. Ideally get the organic version, and the elementals won't have an aversion to the natural fragrances because that's what they're made of, and the natural oils and such. But when it's synthetic, and when there's all these clothes and there's these glasses and all this stuff, you're disconnected from nature, and then nature also has to put up its defenses against you because you're not synced, you're not in the same reality. So that is a really, really key one. It's fine, of course, to wear the oils and things you need to, and the clothes you need to, but utilize the most natural ones possible. And where you can, take off your sunglasses and look with your eyes without a filter, without a screen, without a camera, without a phone, without shoes, with your skin. All of those things will begin to synchronize and deepen you with nature. Number 3 is an encouragement to get to know someone in the nature space that you're in, wherever you're going, whatever you're doing. So maybe just meet one plant along the trail. Like notice one flower. You might not know its name, but just stop and sit with it. Or maybe sit and hug a tree, or sit with a rock and put your hands on that rock. Meet one of the elemental beings of nature on your hike and give it a few minutes. Just sit with that presence and see how that opening and that listening begins to communicate to you through that being. I happen to be sitting, this is the best spot I could find, but I happen to be sitting next to Yarrow. This is a little baby Yarrow. And so you can also use plant apps to identify the certain plants, for instance, and then actually truly get to know them and know what you could do with these, or know their purpose, know more of their essence. But a lot of that can be done just by sitting in presence and communion with those. So make a friend in nature with one of the elemental beings. Number 4 is silence. So it doesn't have to be one of those things where you're in nature and you sit on a rock and you're meditating for 30 minutes and then that means that you had a spiritual experience. It can be that you're taking a walk and just being in more presence is really what we're after. Being in more consciousness, more awareness to the actual physical space that we're in, which often is connected to silence. And when we go with other people, this has happened to me many a times, where I could be on a couple hour excursion or hike or whatever it is in nature and straight up not even know where I am. I'm pretty good with direction, and I don't even know what trail I'm on. I don't even know where I am. That's how in my head and how in the conversation I may be, or with those people I may be. So if you're in that situation with whoever family, friends you're with in nature, at the top of the mountain or at a certain moment when you're in nature, just ask for a few minutes to be by yourself and go sit on a little rock over there and just tune in, even for a few minutes, to make the most of deepening into that place. Now, you can be engaged with the land as you're having conversation, and that is a profound way of going deep, because the influences and the syncing of what's coming through because you're in nature can lead to a lot of inspiration, a lot of insight, a lot of guidance, because you're synced with your natural self. And so when you can be in that positivity with someone and be in that consciousness, you can actually go pretty deep in a different kind of way, where the nature is influencing your awareness and consciousness and insights around certain things. So the key on this is to go into nature with awareness, to go into nature with positivity and consciousness, even if you're not going to be as engaged and you're more kind of in conversation or with people, to be in nature in positivity. This is not one of those things where you go into nature and you dump your stuff, or you're like process. Do your best to be in a conscious state, and the elementals and the energies can then come forward and be the synchronizing energy with you, rather than be like, what are you bringing to the forest, yo? So entering with awareness will make available the amazing energies and clarities and guidance that you're seeking. The fifth and final tip, which is super powerful, which is keying into the energy of wide angle vision. So in our world, we're like on our phones, very focused, very neuro-focused on our phones, writing, whatever we're doing in our world, in our daily life at home, has a very low range of view. And then when you go out into nature, that's one of the reasons that people love views, is it just feels expansive, right? It feels so big and grand and big picture to life itself, that it puts us into this grander perspective of who we are and our connection to all that is, and gives us insight from this grander perspective. So this is seeing from wide angle vision, is what it's called. And so you just relax your eyes, and then you scan the horizon. It's all really you're doing. And one of the things that you can do is wiggle your fingers to bring into awareness the expanse of your peripheral vision, and then loosen and soften your eyes and your gaze in this way. And in that, dimensional gateways will open and profound things will happen. So in short, taking in a vista, taking in a forest, just softening your eyes, softening your gaze, but staying conscious. So not closing your eyes for this. Of course, you can do meditations as well, which is a wonderful practice to deepen in nature and in that stillness and in that listening. But in this case, keeping your eyes open, but just softening and entering the other dimensions with eyes open, relaxed to the vastness of your whole vision, and seeing and feeling what comes through as you do that. A quick bonus tip before we close for today is to go into a wilder place. So city park, if that's all you got, great. And if a certain trail that's frequented is all you got, great. Go there. That's a wonderful start. And if you can go into wilder nature, carrying these principles of awareness and positivity and respect and all the things we talked about, it just goes so much deeper. Right now, I am right outside my campsite. I'm going to show you. This is my tent over there. You see? And all the little wildflowers? So, I am where a lot of people are frequenting in this moment. You can probably hear them in the background. But if I walk down the trail where humans don't walk very often, whole other level, so much higher, so much vibe and brightness and transmission that's available in wilder places. So my recommendation is to find a wild place, or to go at an hour, to go at a time where many people aren't there. And when the collective people field has faded and softened, so much more connection is available. So I hope that you've enjoyed these tips. This is the beginning, things that you can really start doing to go deeper. With the podcast episodes I have out, you can go deeper and deeper with those. And then you'll start seeing fairies and Sasquatch and hear the mountain talk to you and have crazy, beautiful, incredible experiences. Wishing you a wonderful day. Please comment below and let me know which tip you're going to follow, or if there's any tips that you have that you want to suggest to the rest of the community. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, hit the bell button so you get notifications every time I do new videos, and I will be back with another one very, very soon.